Hi guys! I have something interesting for you today. 5 beautiful checkmates featuring the famous Boden's mate. It's a very classic checkmate pattern and one of the finest artistic ideas in chess. Because this checkmate uses a pair of bishops, it is often set up by a beautiful queen sacrifice. Do you know why this checkmate pattern is known as Boden's mate? Okay, we're about to find out. Let's rock and roll. Number 1. We have a classic game from 1853 between R. Shoulder as white and Samuel Boden as black. On the board, we have the Philidor defense. Ponziani-style setup, preparing the pawn break with d4. Black responds with pawn to f5, bishop to c4. Boden is not interested in capturing the pawn on e4. Instead, he continues developing his knight. A consistent move from white, d4, creating tension in the center. And after that, a few exchanges take place very quickly. No, queen takes pawn. Simply queen recaptures. So pawn takes pawn, knight to c6. Knight may be looking to jump to e5, attacking the bishop and adding pressure to f3 twice. White prevents that idea by pushing pawn forward, controlling e5. Bishop develops, preparing for a long castle. Both sides continue with standard development. Then queen moves to e2 or f3, followed by long castling. Rook moves to the open e-file. Queen to f3. Then comes long castling. Bishop tries to become more active, eyeing the long diagonal on the queen side. After white castles, notice that black's dark-squared bishop is still undeveloped. And now black plays a gambit. Pawn to d5, attacking the bishop while also preparing to develop that bishop. How should white respond? No matter what white chooses here, whether bishop retreats or perhaps queen captures the pawn, in the actual game, white played bishop takes pawn. None of those options can save white. Feel free to pause the video. What's your move as black? Yes! The signs of a Boden's mate are already very strong. Ready? The queen! Queen! Check! King moves. No! That's a serious violation! Hey man, I'm still playing. So after the pawn captures the queen, the bishop slides to a 3. It's Boden's mate! Thank you, brother. This is the game that made Boden's mate famous. A beautiful checkmating masterpiece by Samuel Boden. Let's move on. Boden's mate number 2. We have a game from 1931 between world champion Alexander Alekhine playing white and Milorad Vasic playing black. Okay, on the board we have the Sicilian defense, Wynauer variation. Knight is pinned and pawn is in a bit of trouble. So white plays bishop to d3, protecting the pawn. Bishop simply captures, with check. Pawn recaptures, and h6, trying to control g5, preventing a bishop from going to g5, or knight maneuvering to g5 in the future. It also ensures there will be no threat of a Greek gift sacrifice after black castles kingside. Okay, white continues with bishop to a3. A very annoying move, making it difficult for black to castle. Knight to d7, supporting the pawn push to c5 while also blocking the view of white's dark-squared bishop. Queen to e2, then pawn takes pawn, and pawn cannot recapture because it is pinned. So pawn simply captures, bishop recaptures, knight comes to its favorite square, driving the bishop away. Alekhine responds with bishop to d3, the second best move. The top move here is bishop to g6. What's the idea? Yep, queen can then capture the pawn with check. This pawn cannot capture the queen, because it is pinned by the bishop. Black's position collapses immediately. Or if pawn decides to take the bishop, then of course, queen captures the pawn with check. Queen has to block the check. Queen takes queen. And mate. Okay, let's get back to the actual game. Bishop to d3. If you were playing black, what would you do in a cramped position like this? King can't castle thanks to that monster bishop. The light-squared bishop can't move either, blocked by the knight and pawn. And queen has nowhere to go because the bishop is ready to take it down. Black continues with b6, a very natural and normal-looking move, preparing to develop the light-squared bishop. And it may also be followed by c5, cutting off the bishop's diagonal. Yeah, can you already smell a Boden's mate here? Yes! The queen! Check. King is stuck. Good job, my boy. So after pawn takes queen, beautiful Boden's mate. Thanks, brother. What an incredibly classy checkmate. Boden's mate number 3. We have Scandinavian defense, modern variation. Queen has to move. After queen to a5. Okay, the main line of the Scandinavian. Creating an escape route, so if queen gets into trouble, she can always head back home. Knight to f3. Most of the time, black will simply develop the bishop, pinning the knight. Just ignore it. A popular move for black here is e3, opening the way for the bishop to develop. We chase the bishop away. If bishop tries to keep the pin, just keep chasing it. After bishop to g6, knight jumps in, and you can simply take the bishop. Or, if bishop simply takes knight, first we recapture with the queen. And after the bishop is attacking the pinned knight, relax guys, your knight is protected by the pawn and queen. So we can simply prepare to castle kingside. And if black makes a normal move, go ahead and attack the bishop. If bishop takes knight, just recapture with the pawn. Then castle kingside. Everything is safe. The position is still balanced. But what if black plays a tactical move here? What's your move? We simply take the bishop. Of course, that also attacks the queen. Queen will of course grab the rook right away, giving check. And she's also ready to crash into your kingside rook. Don't block with the knight. I don't like passive moves. Instead, play a sneaky move. King to d2. Hey man, are you serious? Yes, because if black isn't careful, you can take the queen. Take the queen? Come on, bro. Your rooks are the ones disappearing. Uh-oh. Wait, something's definitely not right here. Okay, let's continue. Yep. The queen! Check. Look, the monster bishop. King has no escape. So pawn is forced to take the queen. Brutal! Thanks, bishop. For number 4, we have the King's Gambit declined, classical variation, bishop to c5. A game from 1922 between Geza Yanni playing white and Lajos Steiner playing black. Knight to f3 and d6. Bishop to c4, knight to c6. Still, standard opening moves. Black doesn't go for the main idea knight to d4, pressuring the pinned knight, and instead plays knight to e7, preparing kingside castling. And this is where black starts heading into trouble. Pause the video. What's your move? Let's go for a tactical shot. Black plays king to f8. Or what if king captures the bishop? Then knight to g5 check, and we simply replace the minor piece we lost. The key idea here is that the black king is exposed. Bad news for Team Black. Okay, king to f8. Bishop has done its job. The bishop retreats. Knight comes to d4 a bit too late, since the best moment already passed before white's 3-point shot. Okay, here your knight and bishop are under attack by the knight, and your knight is still pinned by the bishop. White plays knight takes knight, top move. Black recaptures. Because if bishop takes queen, then knight to e6, forking king and queen. After the queen is gone, then king can enjoy the dinner. So black continues with pawn takes knight. Queen takes bishop, The pawn looks healthier now after winning the second knight. Then queen to e6, mate in one threat on f7. Queen to e8, covering f7. f5. Black responds with a top move, trying to control two sensitive dark squares, f6 and g7, preventing white's sneaky queen ideas. White plays aggressively with a lone pawn. The pawn cannot be taken because bishop comes down with checkmate. To keep the game going a bit longer, black should play knight to g6, top move. Even though this is played by black, white is still better here. Stockfish gives around +2. Okay, let's continue. Instead of knight to g6, bishop takes pawn. You already know white's idea? Yes, clearance sacrifice, check. If queen blocks, then queen takes queen and mate. Thanks, bishop. So pawn is forced to take the queen. Of course. Boden's mate. A beautiful checkmate with cooperation from the two bishops, starting with a beautiful queen sacrifice. Now we arrive at Boden trap number 5. We have the Scandinavian defense, Blackmar-Daimer gambit, a game played in 1948. Emil Daimer as white against Ports. After d takes e, knight jumps to c3, ready to grab the pawn. Knight defends the pawn. f3, attacking the pawn twice. So e takes f. Queen recaptures. If black responds with bishop to g4, attacking the queen, clearly the b-pawn will be lost. Rook is in a bit of trouble. And after knight jumps, knight comes to b5. c7 is about to collapse. Okay, black simply takes the pawn. Bishop becomes active with tempo. Black responds with queen to e5. And if the queen goes to b4, eyeing b2, the response here is simple, long castling. Rook will become very active on the open d-file. Okay, queen to e5, pinning the bishop. So there's potential for a knight jump to g4, targeting the bishop. We break the pin. And here, black continues with c6. Because instead, if the bishop rushes to attack the queen while also skewering the rook, white is doing just fine here after queen captures b7. Rook is clearly not going to survive. And if black takes the rook, queen to c8, mate! Okay, let's go back to the actual game. No bishop to g4. Instead, pawn to c6, blocking the queen's access to b7. At the same time, this pawn controls the light square b5. No knight jump to b5 in the future. And now the real threat is bishop to g4. White prevents it with h3. g4 is controlled. Both sides develop their light-squared bishops. Knight to d7, preparing to castle. Knight develops. Black castles. Continue with bishop to f4. The queen has to move. Black fails to find the best move here, queen to c5 or a5. But instead continues with queen to h5. The idea is to offer a queen trade. I'm sure if you're playing white, you've already found the Boden's mate technique here. Exactly right. Queen takes c6, check. Thanks to the monster bishop. Pawn has to capture. Yes, a classy checkmate, Boden's mate style. Great job by the bishop pair. Okay guys, those were 5 beautiful checkmates using the Boden's mate technique. I hope you now fully understand exactly when this tactic should be used in your chess games. But wait, what if the situation is just a king and a pair of bishops? Can you still deliver checkmate effectively? Because if you play 50 random moves without any real progress, there's always the possibility of a draw. Go ahead and click the thumbnail on the left side of the screen to learn the fastest formula for checkmating with a pair of bishops. Okay, see you in the next video. Stay healthy, stay happy. Thank you.